Boston, 1970. The major American symphony orchestras are dominated by men. The prevailing belief: women lack the lung power, the temperament, the constitution for serious instruments. Then a screen goes up at auditions. The judge can hear the music. The judge cannot see the musician. Female hires surge. For half a century, that screen was the closest thing to fair recruitment in the field. Then it was automated. Predictive AI watches who got hired and copies the pattern. It cannot see causes, only correlations. Veriprajna's thesis: the next generation is not predictive but causal. Counterfactual fairness asks the only question that matters. If this candidate were a different gender, would the model have hired her? The first wave of recruiting AI was Amazon's, trained on 10 years of resumes. The system learned that male was a strong predictor of hire and acted on it. It penalized the phrase women's chess club captain. It downgraded graduates of 2 all-women's colleges. The tool was scrapped. The second wave is the LLM wrapper, a thin interface over a model trained on the open internet. University of Washington researchers found these systems prefer white associated names 85% of the time. In some runs, black male names were never ranked first. The wrapper cannot turn the bias off. It is baked into the foundation. Veriprajna does not wrap. It builds structural causal models, graphs that represent the actual cause and effect structure of hiring outcomes. Consider a zip code. Standard models discover that zip code predicts hire and they use it, but a zip code carries 2 stories. Path A: zip code drives commute time drives retention, a legitimate business signal. Path B: zip code correlates with demographics. Demographics correlate with historical bias, a discriminatory shadow. The structural causal model blocks path B mathematically while keeping path A. The mathematics is precise. A decision is counterfactually fair if the predicted outcome for a candidate is the same in the actual world as it would be in a counterfactual world, where the candidate's demographic group changes, holding skills and qualifications constant. That equation is the digital blind audition screen. The model is trained against an adversary. 2 objectives. First, maximize accuracy, predict who will perform on the job. Second, minimize the adversary, make it impossible to recover the protected attribute from the model's internal representation. Each time the model leans on a proxy, the adversary catches it and the loss climbs. Before deployment, the model is stress-tested. Take a real resume male with a male-coded name and generate a synthetic twin. Same skills, same dates, female name, female pronouns. Both go through the model. If the scores diverge, the model fails the audit. The penalization iterates until the twins converge, and only then does the model ship. This matters because the regulation has caught up. New York City Local Law 144, in force since 2023, prohibits any automated employment decision tool that has not passed an independent bias audit in the prior year. The law calculates impact ratios. If a tool selects men at 80% and women at 40%, the impact ratio is 0.5, and the tool fails. Black box vendors are scrambling to patch bias after the fact. Causally trained models are audit-ready by design. The European Union's AI Act classifies recruitment AI as high risk, a tier of obligation comparable to medical devices. Wrappers that route data to third-party APIs face an existential problem here. The model is a black box hosted on someone else's server. The performance evidence is real too. A causal inference study of employee attrition showed that the true driver of churn was not salary, but lack of training opportunities, and the targeted intervention reduced churn by 23.9%. Unilever and Hilton, on outcome-based hiring, cut time to hire by up to 90% while increasing the diversity of their intake. Standard recruiting overvalues pedigree, the Ivy League degree, the lacrosse club, the right vocabulary, the way old baseball scouts overvalued batting average. Causal recruiting finds the on-base percentage of human performance, the undervalued causal drivers that competitors are still ignoring. The economics inverts. Fairness is not a tax on performance. Fairness expands the talent pool. The wrapper is yesterday's gold rush. The structural causal model is the engineered foundation underneath. The position is not subtle. Veriprajna is not an API wrapper company. The mission is the infrastructure for a meritocratic future of work. Don't automate the bias. Engineer the fairness. Beyond the mirror, beyond correlation, beyond imitation, beyond the past. The structural causal model is mathematically blind to the protected attribute, and only mathematics can survive the audit. Read the architecture.